So 50 Cent appeared on ESPN's First Take, which I know many of you love to watch every morning. And they asked some pretty good questions about Floyd Mayweather and their relationship together. And here's what 50 Cent was quoted as saying. It's just who Floyd is. Like, he'll just flip-flop from time to time. It's who he is. His father was, like, around me. He was, like, the house trainer in the actual gym we had. Roger trained him for about 17 years, and then he decided he wanted his father to train him. So Roger was around, and then he decided he wanted Roger back. So Roger's there, and his father's back around. It's just who he is. And then Jameel Hill, rightfully so, asked, are you still friends with Floyd Mayweather? Here's what he said. Yeah, I mean, if you're friends with, you gotta accept their imperfections, right? And then Skip Bayless said, did Floyd duck Manny Pacquiao? Yes. That's $100 million, and he just left it for two reasons. I mean, he concentrates on how much someone else is getting paid opposed to how much he's getting paid. He kind of sees himself in the space that no one else sees him in. He's not afraid of any fighter. It's more him saying, who do I have to fight? At this point, it's more him sorting out who's the perfect opponent than him fighting the toughest fighter to fight. Robert, what is your reaction to 50 Cent saying that, basically, boldly saying that Floyd ducked Manny Pacquiao because of the payday?
Well, it's not altogether a surprise. A lot of people have felt that all along. Just last week, Floyd said during I think it was like a press conference or something, he said that he was not going to put money in Bob Arum's pocket. And when he said that, it was understood that all the talk about take the test, and the latest proclamation, or not, I don't know if it's the proclamation of the latest proviso, which that he would fight Pacquiao if Pacquiao would go on and defeat Bradley and Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, all of these sort of statements, one of which is contradicting another, this is yet just another one that seems to suggest that Floyd had his opportunity to fight Pacquiao, probably would have beaten Pacquiao, would have pocketed a ton of money, and chose not to.
Roughly $100 million is what Floyd Mayweather said. Of course, it was Olympic-style drug testing where you get tested anytime. They're completely random. It sounds like you are basically saying that Floyd Mayweather did, in fact, duck Manny Pacquiao, and 50 Cent basically said that he ducked Manny Pacquiao, and he also probably could have won that fight. I have said that the fight will not happen until they both are 40 years old, a little washed up, and need the money. It'll remind me of Roy Jones Jr. against Bernard Hopkins when they fought past the age of 40. Will it ever happen, Robert?
I don't believe so. I think the public interest in the fight has diminished to such an extent that it's not going to generate that kind of capital any longer. And of course, the bad blood that has existed between their promoters has not changed at all. I mean, it's as bad as ever, and right. I don't think that's going to be changing anytime in the future.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You said that it changed to some extent. What extent is that exactly?
Well, I mean, again, anybody can be sold anything. We know that. It's the whole advertising business is based upon that. Selling people what they don't really need, what they don't even really want. But somehow they convince people that their lives will be more complete if they purchase this item. And this item, in this instance, would be this pay-per-view fight. Again, it's not going to change boxing in any way. Pacquiao is no longer a champion. Pacquiao's deficiencies have been exposed. He has lost his last two fights, one legitimately, one perhaps not legitimately. The only difference, aside from their age making this unattractive, is that there is 50 Cent who could maybe act as a liaison between these two warring parties and bring them together for this fight.
I mean, look, if it was a pay-per-view event, don't know if I'd buy it, but I would go to a bar and I would watch it. Now, what is your reaction to 50 Cent coming out and saying all these things? I mean, I read in your blog that you view him as clever, and you view him as a very truth-telling and bold human being for coming out and saying this, especially on ESPN. I mean, is that pretty much along the lines of how you feel today?
It is, but clearly there is some bad blood between 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd's not talking. He's not saying much at all. But 50 Cent is out there. He's talking, and he's saying what it is he seems to feel. We don't really know. I mean, again, clever guy, media-savvy character. So it's hard to know exactly what his agenda is, aside from keeping himself center stage, at which he's succeeding beautifully.
Now, with SMS Promotions, which 50 Cent owns, he has Andre Durrell, Yuri Urkus Gamboa, and I believe 2 other champions, up-and-coming champions. Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his fantastic writing at www.boxing.com. Thank you, Robert.
Okay, Rick. Talk to you soon.